Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Rowe. We're looking in Geometry Part A. This is Lesson 16, and we're going to talk about the Polygon Angle Sum Theorem. So again, this is some information we explain in the lesson, and this is just to help you kind of, go through the assignment knowing exactly what you're expected to be able to do. So the Polygon Angle Sum Theorem says that the sum of the interior angles of an n-sided polygon is 180 times n minus 2. Now, what in the world does this thing mean? Well, n-sided, that n just means the number of sides on the polygon. So if it was a 10-sided polygon, that would be 10-sided, or a decagon. So, and in this formula, we'll figure out, I'm going to kind of explain what n minus 2 means and represents, but it's basically doing with the number of triangles we can create in the object, and then we're, each angle or each triangle has 180 degrees, so 180 times that gives us our total. So we're going to use this figure to, this is one of the first things you have to do, is to determine how many, or what's the sum of the angles of any polygon. So we're going to look at this example. What is the sum of the interior angles of this given polygon? So here's our given polygon, and we're going to use our formula to figure out the sum of all the angles. So let's take a look. We're going to mark this so we know where we start and where we end here. So how many sides do we have here? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sides. We got a 9-sided polygon. This is called a nonagon. And this formula, what we do is we pick one vertex and we draw all of the diagonals that we can from that one vertex to figure out how many triangles that we can draw on this particular object. So if we take a look at this, here are our diagonals. And what happens is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 triangles formed. So 7 triangles, each triangle has 180 degrees. That's going to give us the total of all the angles in the polygon. So our sum in this particular nonagon, we're going to fill into the formula 180 times n minus 2. 9 minus 2 is 7, so we've got 180 times 7, and 180 times 7 is 1,260. So that's the first application that you're going to have to be able to do, is to take any sided polygon and figure out the sum of its angles using that formula. So what's the next thing you're going to be able to do? You're going to have to be able to find any missing angle of any polygon. And we're going to kind of use a similar procedure here. So here is our polygon. You notice we have all of the angles except one, and we have to figure out that angle. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the Polygon Angle Sum Theorem to figure out the total, and then use that to work backwards to figure out the missing angle. So first thing, find the sum of all interior angles. So we're going to apply the Polygon Angle Sum Theorem, 180 times n minus 2. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides here. So this is a pentagon. So we're going to fill in 5 minus 2 is 3. So 180 times 3 is 540. So the sum of all 5 angles here would be 540 degrees. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up an equation and then solve for x. So our equation, we're going to start with x, and we're going to add all these other x together. So plus 54, plus 130, plus 97, plus x, all equal 540. Combining some like terms, we get x plus 411 equals 540. We're going to subtract 411 from each side, and so we get x equals 129 degrees. So this angle x is 129 degrees. So that's our second application, is to take the given information and then solve for the missing angle. So what's the last thing? We're going to have to take a given polygon. We're going to find the value of x, and then we're going to use x to determine the angles, the missing angles. So here is our polygon. So you see this time, instead of given angle measures, we're given expressions, binomial expressions. So we're going to have to use these binomial expressions with the Polygon Angle Sum Theorem to figure out what x is, and then use x to figure out each angle that we don't know. And just remember that we already know what this angle is. This angle is a 90-degree angle. So again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. So this is another pentagon. So we're going to find the sum of all the interior angles. Again, that's 180 times n minus 2. So we got 5 sides. So 5 minus 2 is 3. 180 times 3 is 540. So again, we're going to set up another equation. So this time, instead of having just numbers, we're going to have expressions. So we're going to end up with a multi-step equation. So here's our multi-step equation. We've got all of our angles here, and then plus 90, and that's going to equal 540. So if we combine like terms, 3 plus 7 is 10, plus 6 is 16, plus 6 is 22x. We got 4 minus 3 is 1, plus 12 is 13, minus 3 is 10, plus 90 is 100, so 22 plus 100, or 22x plus 100 equals 540. Subtracting 100 from each side gives us 440. If we divide by 22, then each angle is 20 degrees, or x is 20 degrees, not each angle. So once we have x, now we're going to figure out each angle that we don't know. So we don't know these 4 angles. We already know this one is 90. So we're going to substitute our x into each one of these expressions. So 3x plus 4, 3 times 20 is 60. 60 plus 4 is 64. So we're going to move on to the next one, 7x minus 3. We got 7x minus 3. 7 times 20 is 140. 140 minus 3 is 137. 6x plus 12 is the next one. So 6 times 20 is 120. 120 plus 12 is 132. And then we got our final angle that we don't know, 6x minus 3. 6x minus 3, 6 times 20 is 120. 120 minus 3 is 117. So those are the 3 things you're going to have to be able to do with the polygon angle sum theorem. I hope this recording helps you. If you still struggle with this content, please let us know in a teacher message or make an appointment for a help session.